A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. All men are by nature equal, made all of the same earth by one workman, and however we deceive ourselves, as dear unto God is the poor peasant as the mighty prince. All the gold which is under or upon the earth is not enough to give in exchange for virtue. And what, Socrates, is the food of the soul? Surely, I said, knowledge is the food of the soul. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. Dictatorship naturally arises out of democracy, and the most aggravated form of tyranny and slavery out of the most extreme liberty. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Excess of liberty, whether it lies in state or individuals, seems only to pass into excess of slavery. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. If a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. It is right to give every man his due. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. Justice means minding one's own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. Let parents bequeath to their children not riches, but the spirit of reverence. Life must be lived as play. Love is a serious mental disease. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. No one is a friend to his friend who does not love in return. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. Science is nothing but perception. The beginning is the most important part of the work. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. The empty vessel makes the loudest sound. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. The man who makes everything that leads to happiness depends upon himself, and not upon other men, has adopted the very best plan for living happily. This is the man of moderation, the man of manly character and of wisdom. The measure of a man is what he does with power. The most important part of education is proper training in the nursery. The punishment which the wise suffer who refuse to take part in the government, is to live under the government of worse men. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. There must always remain something that is antagonistic to good. There will be no end to the troubles of states, or of humanity itself, till philosophers become kings in this world, or till those we now call kings and rulers really and truly become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears he is a protector. This city is what it is because our citizens are what they are. To be sure I must, and therefore I may assume that your silence gives consent. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. We do not learn, and what we call learning is only a process of recollection. Whatever deceives men seems to produce a magical enchantment. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. Please subscribe to our channel to hear wise quotes every week. Please leave a comment on the wise words you'd want to hear from our channel.